everyone, this is Karen.
Welcome back. I am Shane.
Today we're looking at part 2 of Hired by a Machine Mind. And the vocabulary words are currently.
Currently.
Steve is currently working for Apple.
Individual.
Individual.
Marco cut the pizza into individual slices.
Good job. Extremely.
Extremely.
Police said the person they are looking for is extremely dangerous.
Strip.
Strip.
The thieves stripped the stolen car for parts and left it in a parking lot.
Judgment.
Judgment.
Before any judgment can be made, we need to look at all the facts.
Definitely.
So we're still talking about being hired by a machine mind, being hired by AI.
Yes.
Right?
So, if you're being hired by AI, I guess you could probably figure out what is the AI looking for.
Aha!
Right?
You know, in South Korea, they actually have cram schools for people to go to help them pass the AI interviews.
I don't think this happens in America because we know Amazon in America is also using this AI, but Americans don't really go to cram schools.
Yes,
it must be an Asian thing. Right?
That's right. So do you think that will really work?
Well, I guess they could teach you some
tricks and tips.
Yeah, but they're probably just guesses, and I imagine that the AI or the program that's been set up for each company or even each position is going to be a little bit different.
That's right.
So you probably just need to use like the keywords that are used for that industry.
Or key phrases. I think those are the things that AI might be looking for. And another tip is that they said not to reveal your gender. Right? So the AI can't really be biased.
Or your race.
That's right, or your race.
Yeah, like in your resume, right? So, okay. It's interesting, but it's a little bit scary.
I know.
I wonder what the future is going to look like. We're going to be
hired by AI?
Yeah, we're just going to be like slaves to machines.
No! I hope not.
Okay, no, that's not going to happen. Don't worry, okay? All right. See you later.
See you later.
Hired by a machine mind.
Naturally, job seekers are trying anything they can to satisfy the AI's selection criteria. In South Korea, where a number of the top companies currently use AI for hiring, many job seekers attend special cram schools to learn how to pass their AI interview.
Today's lesson is called Hired by a Machine Mind. Part 2. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike. Yeah, we're talking about AI bosses. Well, not exactly your boss, but the person who hired you, who interviewed for that job that you have. Well, it might in the future not be a boss, not be a person, a manager of some kind who you sit down and chat with in a job interview. It could be a camera attached to a computer running an AI program that is going to analyze your face, how it moves, the words you use the data from your resume and your education history to decide who gets the job. Sounds good on paper, but of course people in the real world cannot so easily be broken down. And of course also the program doing the hiring has to work really well. Yesterday we saw the example of Amazon was trying to hire some engineers. Now, all the engineers that they had trained this program with were men. So in the real world, the program didn't hire any women, even though they were perfectly capable of doing the job. So it's a good idea, but how it works in the real world is often less than perfect.
So this computer had a set of data.
Yeah.
And these are all resumes. Okay, match these resumes. These are
This is
good.
what we're looking
These
for.
are good engineers. The only problem was that this was old data. All the engineers were men, and that's not going to be the case moving forward. Okay, so bad data in, bad decisions out. Anyways, naturally, job seekers are trying anything they can to satisfy the AI's selection criteria. So if you're a girl, maybe instead of writing female on your resume, you write male, and you get through the AI in that way. Interesting. Anyways, in South Korea, something is going down, and only interesting things happen in South Korea?
Well, South Korea, like a lot of places, is very competitive, and people want to work for those big companies. They want to work for the Samsungs of the world and stuff. So it says in South Korea, where a number of the top companies currently use AI for hiring, they're using this computer software
right now.
Many job seekers attend special cram schools to learn how to pass their AI interview. So you're not going to a thing that says how to dress well and do well in an interview with a person. You're learning how to do well in an interview with a computer. And of course, since it's Korea, they have a special cram school for it, a special AI interview bushiban for people, just out of university trying to get that top job. This is happening now.
There you go. It's happening currently. That's what the adverb currently means. Right now, in the present, not in the past, not necessarily in the future, right now, this moment. For example, Steve is currently working for Apple. Oh, where does he work now? He works at Apple. That's where he is currently working.
Was he hired by a computer?
No, he was hired by Steve Jobs.
Wow.
They're different Steves. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break. We'll be back after this.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们在第一天的课文读到，最近有雇主使用人工智慧系统来检视履历、面试员工。那么求职者要怎么样去应对这样的趋势呢？课文写到说，在南韩当地目前有好几间顶尖公司用人工智慧系统来招聘，而许多求职者就会去上特别的补习班来学习如何通过这个人工智慧面试。好，这边有一个单词是 currently。currently 这个副词就表示目前、现在。接回课文中。
Hired by a machine mind.
Of course, many of the techniques taught are nothing more than educated guesses. Without knowing exactly what each individual AI system looks for, knowing what to do to please it is extremely difficult. However, there are still some things you can try. For example, use industry-specific terms in your interview answers because AIs often search data for specific key phrases. Another tip is to keep your resume's style simple. That way, the AI can search it more easily. You should also strip your resume of anything that reveals your sex or race in case a biased data set is being used.
Okay, before the break, we learned about a special cram school in Korea where they teach you how to beat that AI technology there that is in charge of job interviews. Now, of course, many of the techniques taught at this school are nothing more than educated guesses. No one knows what the secret sauce actually is. They're just doing their best to kind of confuse this system, or to get around this system, I should say.
Of course, because few companies are doing this. They haven't been using these AI hiring systems for long. And also, every company's system would be different, right? Every company would have a different program, a different AI doing their interviews. It says, without knowing exactly what each individual AI system looks for, knowing what to do to please it is extremely difficult. What is individual? This adjective just means one on its own, all right? We're talking about a group of things, but here we're actually referring to just one of them on its own. You are an individual. You are one person. You can be part of a family, part of a class, part of a team, part of any kind of group, but you are still an individual. You are one on your own. That's as a noun, and an individual person is just one person, all right, out of a group possibly. Marco, what did Marco do? He cut the pizza into individual slices. He cut it into separate slices, each of them one slice of pizza. That way he can share it with his friends.
Now it says here that pleasing this system is extremely difficult. This is like really, really hard, everybody. Anyways, here we do have the word extremely. It's like a strong version of the word very. Oh, was that hard? Oh, was it very hard? It was extremely hard. It was just that tough, that challenging. Anyways, for example, police said the person they are looking for is extremely dangerous. Yeah, this person is dangerous. Oh, how dangerous is he? Super dangerous, extremely dangerous. So stay away, if you can. Anyways, moving on, let's read some more about AI and how you can game this particular system. Okay, it says, however, there are still some things you can try. Do you know the secret sauce? No, but here are some things you can try to beat the AI.
All right, so again, we're doing basic guesses, but here are some better guesses than maybe some of the other ones. For example, use industry-specific terms in your interview answers, because AIs often search data for specific key phrases. All right, so yeah, if you're doing an interview for a certain kind of company and a certain kind of business, use the words from that kind of business. If it's a car company, use words related to cars and the car business. If it's a computer company, use words related to that type of business. This will attract the attention. This will pick up the notice of the AI's ear, of the AI program. So use the right words for the type of job you're looking for.
There you go. Okay, now another tip.
Yes.
Okay, as far as your resume is concerned, keep it simple. Okay, so first of all, go ahead and use those industry-specific terms in your interview answers, because AIs often search data for specific key phrases. And then KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Another tip is to keep your resume's style simple.
So yes, keep your resume simple. Don't fill it up with a bunch of facts and information about you that isn't about the job. In the same way that you ask Google questions that are nice and simple to get the best answer, keep your resume simple. Don't fill it up with facts that'll just confuse the AI. As it says, that way, the AI can search it more easily. It will search through your resume for what it's looking for, and it won't be distracted or get confused by other stuff. Here's something else you should try to do. You should also strip your resume of anything that reveals your sex or race, in case a biased data set is being used. This is just like that Amazon example we saw earlier. It was trained only using male technical workers, male engineers, so it ignored the female engineers. Well, that kind of situation might happen again at a different company. So don't put stuff about being male or female, black, white, Asian, whatever you happen to be. Leave that stuff out. Be a person with an education and a work history and knowledge of a business. Don't give them too much information about who you are. Strip that stuff out of there. What is it to strip? It's to remove something from a thing while leaving that thing basically in one piece, still intact in one piece. As we might strip something out of a home. If you're fixing your home, you don't knock down the whole house. You just take out the parts that you want to fix or the parts that you want to replace. You leave the rest of it there. Here's another good example. The thieves stripped the stolen car for parts and left it in a parking lot. They took out the parts they needed, the radio, the electronic system, whatever, but then they left the basic car still sitting there. They didn't break it down into many pieces. They just took out or stripped the parts they want. So strip all that stuff from your resume that gives too much of an idea of what kind of person you are. Just you're a person looking for a job. That way the AI won't get confused or won't pick others based on information it's not trained to look at. Very interesting stuff. Let's take a break and then we'll be back with more.
好，刚刚说到南韩有补习班在教求职者如何通过人工智慧面试，不过每一个个别的人工智慧系统都不一样，要确切的掌握是非常困难的，所以很多传授的技巧就只是凭经验所做的猜测而已。那虽然不知道这个关键秘籍是什么，还是可以去试试看。Jeff 老师用到 secret sauce， 字面意思是这个秘密酱料的意思，那它是用来比喻说成功背后的主要特色或是技术，那比较像我们中文说的秘技秘方。好，再来看两个单字 individual 它是形容词，形容个别的个人的。 extremely 表示非常怎么样，极其怎么样。好 Jeff 老师提到这个非常困难，它就意味着富有挑战性，这时候老师用到 challenging 这个字，它是拼作 challenging， challenging 表示有挑战性的。 好，那么课文接着提供一些小 pebble， 像是在面试回答中可以使用特定行业的术语，让这个履历表的风格简洁，还有你可以剔除这个履历表当中任何会透露你性别或是种族的东西，以免人工智慧会使用带有偏见的资料集。好，单字 strip 它是动词，表示剥夺、除去。Strip something of 什么什么，表示说除去某事物里面的什么什么东西。好 ，Mike 老师解释单词使用到 intact，intact 是形容完好无缺的、未受损伤的。接回到课文中。
Hired by a machine mind.
It seems our success could very well depend on the mysterious judgment of a machine mind. It sounds unfair, and it likely is. In the end, the power to either change the system itself or at least make it work for you is in your hands.
Okay, let's start wrapping things up. It seems our success could very well depend on the mysterious judgment of a machine mind. Here we've got the word judgment, okay? If you're talking about judgment, okay, you're talking about an ability to make good choices or to determine things well. So right now, you're sitting in that room, you're having a video conference with this machine, and it's going to say whether or not you get the job, let's say. When the computer makes that decision, it is judging you or it's making a judgment of you. It goes through some calculations and it determines that you're either a good fit for the job or not. For example, before any judgment can be made, we need to look at all the facts. So we can't make a decision yet. We have to look at the facts. We can't judge this thing or decide until we do so.
All right. Now, it might sound unfair, and as the article says, it sounds unfair, and it likely is. Yeah, by putting your race, what color your skin is, or if you're a man or a woman on your resume and you could not get the job just because of that, that's unfair. Yeah, it is unfair. But in the end, it says the power to either change the system itself or at least make it work for you is in your hands. Basically, this is the way it is. Some companies use these systems. You could try to fight it, but you might not get that job. Now, hopefully these will improve and get better over time, or maybe they'll decide they aren't worth using and they'll go back to having real interviews with real people. But as we said, if the companies are doing it this way now, if you want to give yourself the best chance of getting that job, maybe taking some of this advice and doing some of these things would be the wise move.
Okay, folks, that's it for our article, but we're not quite done yet. We still have a question. The what do you think question. Hey, Mike, are AI systems better or worse than humans at hiring people currently?
Well, as far as I've heard, I've never actually had this experience, but from some of the stories we've seen here and some of the things I've seen in the news, I think that humans are better at this because everyone is different. People have different strengths. Sure, if you're just trying to figure out who has the best education or got the best grades in school, the computer can help with that. But humans are a lot more complicated than that. And jobs and working with teams of people, I don't think a computer can really judge all of your strengths based on data.
All right, folks, with that, today's lesson is now in the books, and it's time to say bye-bye.
Take care.
好，当我们的成功是取决于机器的判断，尤其是让人摸不透的那种判断，这听起来很不公平，对不对？那课文写到说，到头来要改变系统本身，或至少让它对你有利的这个权利掌握在你手里。这边有一个单字是 judgment，judgment 表示判断、裁决或者是意见评价，它是当名词。Charles 在解释单字时用到 calculation 这个字 ，calculation，calculation 表示计算或是精打细算、深思熟虑。那我们最后来看4个重点。第一个是 in the end， 在这边表达最终或是到头来。例如 ，She thought about studying abroad。But in the end, she gave up the idea. 她曾经思考过要出国念书，不过到头来还是放弃那个想法了。第二个重点是 either 什么什么 or 什么什么，是连接词性相同的字词来表达，要不是什么就是什么，什么什么或什么什么，二选一择一的意思。那么 either 也有人念作 either， 例如 he is either unwilling or unable to solve the problem， 他要不是不愿意，就是没能力去解决那个问题。第三个重点是 work for somebody， 在这边表达对某人有利有帮助，就相当于 work in somebody's favor。例如 The strategy definitely worked for them， 那个策略确实对他们有帮助。那顺便补充反义词是 work against somebody， 表示对某人不利。例如Inexperience can work against you when looking for a job， 在找工作的时候，缺乏经验可能会对你不利。第四个重点 in somebody's hands， 在某人手里，它就是表达说由某人掌控支配的意思，也可以写作 in the hands of somebody。 那特别注意 hands 是固定用复数型哦。例如Your future is in your hands， 你的未来掌握在你自己的手里。好啦，以上是这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Hello， 各位同学，大家好，我是建安老师。我们来看一下今天的简短独白，来，一样是一个图表题啊。那一样，我们之前有说过啦，如果你看到这图表题，他问的，你就看他问什么。比如说 ，Look at the graphic. How many cars does Mel have to sell next month? 他必须要卖几台车 ？OK， 他是要卖6台、9台、13台还是31台 ？OK， 所以呢，他一定会讲到一个数字哦，可能就是从6台，然后他要多卖几台，他才可以超过什么人嘛，对不对？因为这边他只有数字啊，那他到底要卖几台？其实我觉得就是可能他想要。例如说，他想要达到第1名的话，那他还要卖几台之类的。OK， Where does this talk probably take place？ 这一段话可能是在哪边讲的 ？On the phone, in a car, at a garage, in a parking lot。最后一题 ，What will the speaker do when the team reaches the sales goal？ 如果达到这个业务目标的话呢，这一些讲者呢，他们会干嘛？这样他们是要。Give everyone a pay raise， 帮大家加薪，还是 hold a huge party， 办一场大的 party。C grant a cash reward， 给你奖金，还是最后一个 treat everyone to lunch， 就是请大家去吃午餐这样。OK， 到底是哪一个？我们来听听看。
Hey guys and gals, I'm glad the whole team could join the call. As you know, our busy season is coming up, and I just wanted everyone to be on the same page. Our numbers are looking excellent. Tracy was the sales leader again last month, with Devin close behind her. Our part-time employee, Miranda, also did very well, so keep up the good work. Mel, I know you're new here, but you've already made an impact. 6 cars sold during your first week. Everyone give him a pat on the back. So, I want to set a goal for all of us. Let's each try to sell 50% more cars next month. If that happens, I'll throw us a big party to celebrate.Let's go get him, team.
这3题有点玄虚哦。来，这3题呢，答案是哪一个呢？再听一次，再给你讲好了。
Hey guys and gals, I'm glad the whole team could join the call. As you know, our busy season is coming up, and I just wanted everyone to be on the same page. Our numbers are looking excellent. Tracy was the sales leader again last month,with Devin close behind her. Our part-time employee, Miranda, also did very well, so keep up the good work. Mel, I know you're new here, but you've already made an impact.
Mel, I know you're new here. 我知道你是新来的，但是呢 you made an impact. 那有做出贡献咯。
6 cars sold
6 cars, 6台车
during your first week.
During your first week, 第一周就卖6台，不错。
Everyone give him a pat on the back.
Everyone give him a pat on the back. 大家帮他拍他的这个背，就是帮他鼓励。
So, I want to set a goal for all of us. Let's each try to sell 50% more cars.
50% more， 大家都要卖超过怎么样 ？50% more， 超过一半。所以呢，他现在超6台，对不对？那一半的话就是3台嘛，对不对？所以呢，要加上去就变成9台。
Cars next month. If that happens, I'll throw us a big party to celebrate.
All right, throw us a big party to celebrate. 好，所以这3题的答案。
Let's go get 'em, team.
这个最有可能是在哪里哦？我觉得第1题好像没有那么的清楚哦。但是你看这边 ，I'm glad the whole team could join the call。这边的 call 呢，就是 like video call，right？ 可能是这个电话上面或者是说视讯的这种会议。所以这一题呢，我会选 A。然后这个我们刚刚已经讨论过了，就是9。然后最后一个呢 ，I'll throw a big party。OK， 要帮大家办一场大的 party 这样 ，OK，so let's try to sell 50% more cars。它现在已经6台了嘛 ，50% more， 再多个一半哦，所以就会变成9台。If that happens, I'll throw us a big party to celebrate. Alright， 所以这一题第3题答案就是 B。OK， 以上是我们今天的课程内容，我是建老师，我们下堂课见，拜拜。
See you next time.